Hello everyone, welcome to CISA-This-Much.com. So today we will discuss the cloud service models and the top 7 questions on this topic. So before discussing the questions, let's first understand this entire topic. Although we have discussed about this topic earlier, but let's try to simplify this topic much further. And I'll try to make the entire topic very easy so that you'll be actually understanding the importance and the relevance of each and every term which we'll discuss over here, and how to tackle the questions from this topic of cloud service models, right? Before discussing about this entire chart which you can see right in front of your screen, where it's showing up traditional IT infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. Before discussing about this chart, let's first discuss something different, which will make the entire concept extremely easy. All right, and you know what? This is the particular example which you must always keep in your mind. When you are understanding the topic of cloud service models, because when you understand this example, you'll understand everything. Okay. Now, in this first picture, okay, in this first picture, what exactly thing is happening over here is the mother is making food for the entire family. The mother, she is cooking the food for the family, right? So here I have few questions for you. Okay, when the mother is preparing the food in the kitchen for the entire family, who is responsible for managing the space, the infrastructure? Who is responsible for managing the kitchen? Okay, when I say the space, when I say facility, when I say the infrastructure, I am talking about the physical space of the kitchen premise. Okay, who is responsible for managing that? Obviously the family, right? They themselves are responsible for managing the space. They themselves are responsible for managing the electricity. Okay, if you have the kitchen, you must have the electricity, you must have the lights, right? So when it comes to the lights, when it comes to the premise, who is responsible for that? The family itself, right? Who is responsible for the gas? Okay, so when you are making the food, you require the gas, right? You require maybe the LPG pipeline or the cylinder gas, whatever. Okay, so who is responsible for that? Again, the person who will be managing, and the responsible person would be, yes, you guessed it right, the family itself, correct? There is no question about it. Who is responsible for purchasing the vegetables? Who is responsible for purchasing the breads, all the raw materials, which is required for making the food? Who is responsible for that? The grains, the pulses and everything. Who is responsible? Again, the family themselves, right? They are supposed to have the infrastructure, they are supposed to have the space, they are supposed to have all the raw materials, they are supposed to have the electricity, they are supposed to have the gas, they are supposed to even have the chef. Who is the chef over here? Our dear mother, right? So she is preparing food for the entire family. Okay, so in this case, each and everything is being managed. Each and everything is the responsibility of what? Responsibility of whom? Responsibility of the family, right? Now, okay, I'm changing this example now. Okay, now everything remains the same. Okay, everything remains the same. Let's say, instead of having your own kitchen, instead of having your own premise, let's say you rent a cloud kitchen. Okay, it's a very popular term nowadays in the market. We say cloud kitchen. Okay, so what exactly happening here in case of cloud kitchen? What exactly we are getting over here? We are getting the facility, the space, right? And some equipments, some basic equipments. You'll not be getting the raw materials, you'll not be getting the chef. Okay, so when it comes to bringing the chef, when it comes to bringing the raw materials, when it comes to bringing the recipes, Who is responsible for giving you the recipe? Is cloud kitchen provider is responsible, or you yourself are responsible? You yourself will be responsible for bringing the recipes of the food items, right? So what exactly you are getting over here? You are just getting what? The facility and some basic equipments, right? So this is known as cloud kitchen. In the first example, everything, each and everything, okay? Now, just a second, so when I say, okay, when I say you want to make a pizza, okay, now pizza is an end product, okay? Pizza is an end product, right? And when it comes to pizza, don't you think so it has to go through from the basic level till the advanced level? Like what I'm trying to say over here is that when I want to make a pizza or a burger or french fries or whatever, I need to have the premise, I need to have the facility to make that food. I need to have the electricity, I need to have the gas, I need to have the raw materials, I need to have the chef, I need to have the recipe, right? Each and everything, irrespective of whatever you want to make, okay, you will require each and everything. Try to understand this example very carefully, because if you understand this, the entire topic of cloud service models will become extremely easy for you. Okay, so when it comes to making pizza, you require each and everything, correct? So similarly here, when it comes to making the food at your home, each and everything was your responsibility. But when it comes to the cloud kitchen, the responsibility of premise, power, gas, these three things would be managed by the cloud kitchen provider, and rest everything, raw materials, chef and everything, would be managed by the business or the organization, right? This is the difference here in case of the second example. Okay, now let's look at the third example. Third example, we are not we are not getting into the cloud kitchen, okay? Let's take for example, okay, maybe it could be in the cloud kitchen or maybe it could be in your home, but what you're doing as of now over here is that, okay, let's take the same example, okay? uh, what happened in the second case, the mother, she herself, she has gone to the cloud kitchen and she prepared the entire food, right? Now here the mother feels that, okay, now I want to run a business, we want to have this maybe a small restaurant business, and what she's planning is that she will not only hire a cloud kitchen facility, but she's also looking for a person who can make the food according to whatever instructions she will provide. So she's looking for a maid or a chef, something like that, right? So here in this case, okay, so what exactly happening over here is that in case of the third example, so we are trying to continue the example, okay, that in the same cloud kitchen facility we are bringing some chef, okay, ready-made chef, okay. So here what exactly is happening? Premise, okay, what is happening in case of premise? By cloud kitchen provider, again by electricity, gas and everything, again here the chef is also being provided by the cloud kitchen. So let's say the cloud kitchen say that, okay, you have two things, okay, we can either give you the facility and we also have our chef, inbuilt chef. So I mean, like we have the chef who are linked with our organization. And so let's say if you want some good maid or a chef who can prepare the food, we can give you that also on rental basis, okay. So here what exactly happening is that you are getting one more facility. So even one more facility, the facility of the chef is also being managed by the vendor, okay. So here, but again, When it comes to the maid or the chef, so they are only going to prepare the food. But what about the raw materials? What about, okay, here, recipe also, let's say recipe also, they know everything, right? But what about the raw materials? Here, raw materials you will have to bring, right? You will have to bring the breads, the sauces, the veggies and everything, right? So each and every raw materials would be managed by you, but apart from this, everything would be given to you, right, by the vendor. Now let's go to the next thing. Okay, right in front of you, you can see a very delicious thali. Okay, so here what exactly happening is that you are getting the ready-made food right in front of you. Now I'm asking you this question: who is responsible for bringing you the raw materials? Or when you go to a restaurant, do you take raw materials along with you, and do you give it to the restaurant owner? No, right? The responsibility, the management of the raw materials, the responsibility of the chef, recipes, electricity, gas, each and everything is being managed by the restaurant. So what are you paying for? You are paying for the entire finished product. Okay, you are paying for the finished product. Okay, so that's the unit of consumption. So we will discuss about this unit of consumption. What exactly is unit of consumption? Okay, so let me discuss this here itself. Okay, so when I say unit of consumption, it means that what are you paying for? What will you consume? In case of the first example, okay, here everything is managed by you, right? So here we are not actually as such, so we are getting the entire facility. So let's not talk about this one, the first example, but let's talk about the second example of cloud kitchen. You are paying for the space, right? So unit of consumption would be the space, so you will only pay for the space. Okay, will not discuss about the cost factor over here as such. We will just discuss about what exactly you are paying for, or what exactly you are consuming. In case of this thing, you are consuming what? You are consuming not only the space, but you are also consuming some service along with it, right? And in case of here, your unit of consumption is the entire finished product, right? So you are getting the product itself. So try to keep this example in your mind, and then this entire cloud service model will become very much easier. So again, here also, whenever we talk about IT, okay, each and everything, and this is something which we have also discussed in domain 4 also, right? When we were discussing about the operating systems and everything, so that time we have discussed about the basics of the IT. So irrespective, so the way I mentioned here, like for making the food you require everything, right? You require premise, power, gas, raw material, chef, recipe, everything. Similarly here also in IT, okay, you will require everything. Okay, you will require the facility, the network, storage, servers, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, data, and application which can process that data and give you the meaningful information, right? So you require each and everything, right? So this is the traditional IT. So previously everything used to be managed by the organization. So we also call this as on-prem. So this is on-premise, right? So traditional IT, each and everything is being managed by the organization itself, right? In case of infrastructure as a service, also known as IaaS, IaaS, whatever you can call, infrastructure as a service. Again, the name itself tells you you are getting only the infrastructure as a service. So the cloud vendor, the seller, the cloud seller or the cloud vendor is just giving that infrastructure as a service, right? So you can see over here in the diagram that, let me go in the reverse way. So network, storage, servers, virtualization, operating systems, these things are given to you. Can you see here what is written over here? Let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. What is written? Delivered as a service. So when we say infrastructure as a service, or yes, okay, so you are getting these five items delivered to you as a service. But all right, so what about the other things when it comes to the middleware or the runtime, which you can look at the screen, the middleware, runtime, data, application, everything. This you manage this you manage. Are you able to understand something? And can you link the previous example with this example? Here also the same thing happened, right? Here also I gave you the entire list of items. Here also I gave you the entire list of items, right? And I told you some things you will manage and some things the cloud vendor will manage. Some things you will manage and something cloud kitchen vendor, I'm sorry, cloud kitchen vendor would manage, right? So similarly here also the same thing is happening. Same thing is happening. So the only infrastructure is given to you as a service, right? Other things you are managing. I hope you're able to get this diagram. It's very important to understand this. So anything above the operating system, you are supposed to manage it. So you can also see over here something written as runtime. Okay, so what exactly is runtime? Okay, so basically runtime is like, you need to understand it very simply. Okay, every application is written in a language. Okay, this is something which everyone is aware of. Like, I hope that everyone knows about this thing. Each and every application they have their it's written in a language. Like, there could be Python, C, C++, JavaScript. So for running all this language, and for making this application, you need an environment so that they can run on it, and that environment is known as the runtime environment. Okay, so it's basically a set of components and resources necessary to run and execute an application, right? And there would be data, right? Data would be there, and then we have this application which would be which would be processing the data, and so it will be giving you the meaningful information, right? So here, everything together, we normally call this as infrastructure stack. So when you say everything together, applications, data, runtime, middleware, everything together, the entire box which you can see is called as infrastructure stack. Okay, so this stack will have everything. Okay, but when you say infrastructure as a service, it's just that the basic infrastructure they are giving it to you, right? Not everything. Okay, now let me go to the next example here in case of platform as a service. So you can see over here that slowly and slowly, the yellow boxes are reducing. Okay, now here you are only managing these two, the application and the data. Even the runtime, which we have just spoken about, what is runtime? Okay, even that is being offered to you as a service. Here it's mentioned delivered as a service. So even that is being given to you as a service, right? So only two things you have to manage: applications and data, right? So normally this is used for the developers. They need this platform. So here it's called as platform as a service. Can you see here? There is no blue boxes over here. No blue boxes. It's known as software as a service. When you take a Netflix subscription, when you have your Gmail, are you managing the network, storage, virtualization, operating system, middleware, runtime, data? Okay, so basically, everything is given to you as a software as a service. So the entire end product. So what you have to keep in your mind is that, like, here the entire food, that it could be pizza, it could be burger, french fries, a thali, whatever it is, that is offered to you, or that is provided to you as an end product, right? So here also, in case of software as a service, you are paying for. So here your unit of consumption, your unit of consumption would be what? You're paying for that subscription, you're paying for that software subscription, right? So right now also, when you're watching this training, maybe on your PC, on your laptop, or on your mobile device. Okay, so understand that you have paid to us for you have paid to us for the subscription of the lectures, right? So you have been provided with our lectures. Okay, but don't you think so? These lectures and everything, it is hosted somewhere. It is kept somewhere, right? Some data center is managing those data, right? Okay, but are you responsible for managing all those things? Okay, are you responsible for managing the network, storage, servers, virtualization, operating systems, runtime, data, applications? No. You can use any of your device, you can use any of your phone. You need internet connection. Okay, you need internet connection, and you are just connecting to the server and you are getting what you can watch my lectures. Okay, so you have paid for the subscription, correct? Same thing happens with Netflix and everything. So it's software as a service. So it's very important topic, software as a service. But to understand software as a service, you need to understand the previous what to say, previous brothers or generations. Okay, so you need to understand what exactly do we mean by that traditional IT, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So you need to understand the other things. Okay, so in order to understand the software as a service, and you also need to understand that these entire box will remain as it is. The entire box will remain as it is. The only thing changing, okay, what exactly is changing? Do you see any change in terms from right starting from the application till networking? Are you seeing any change in infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or software as a service? No, everything remains, the box remains the same. The only change in infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or software as a service is what you will be managing, what vendor would be managing. What you will be managing, what would be given to you as a service. So that's why they have kept these two boxes. Okay, the blue color and the gray color, right? So the gray ones are delivered as a service. The gray ones are delivered as a service. The gray ones are delivered as a service. And these blue boxes, you are managing it. That's the only difference. Okay, and this entire thing becomes very much easier when you understand this example. So I hope everyone have understood what I wanted to convey over here.